So how is everyone today? Let's see, let's actually post things on the social media. And here we go. All right, so hello everyone. Today we are, I feel like I forgot to do something. No, I think it's okay. Turn off the timer, here we go. Today we're gonna be making a Breakout clone. So Breakout, I mean, you probably know Arkanoid, which itself was a clone of Breaker, which itself was a clone of Breakout. So, you know, you move a little paddle around, break bricks. It's a pretty simple game to clone, especially now that we have tile maps. I think Mike Daly already made a stream on cloning this game, and so I'm probably going to be cloning it in a very similar way. I don't see much things I could do. Kuro Ren, well, actually I don't have to repeat everything now because I did add, I don't know if you can see it right above my, I have a new stream overlay. You can see all the chat, but it's been playing around with libgdx. Libgdx is great. I'm really enjoying it, especially when using entity component systems. Artemis is what I'm playing with. I used to use Ashley, but now Artemis is my new favorite thing. So let's get started here. Let's see how many people actually watching the stream today. Starting actually pretty strong with 7 watchers. It's a good start. So hello to you all. I'm gonna create a new sprite. Let's call it sbricks. I really feel like I forgot to set something up, but my microphone is on. Yeah, and I did set the start of the stream correctly, so okay. I think everything's okay. So let's edit the image. Collapse that. And we're gonna have a number of different bricks. So we're gonna probably make them maybe 8 by 32 or 8 by 16 or like 16 by 8, whatever, this size here. Or should they be longer? I'm not entirely sure how big they should be. I'm not going for like an accurate clone or anything. I think they should be longer. Okay. But as I said, I'm not going for an accurate clone or anything like that. I'm just going for, you know, having fun. Because making games is fun. And yeah. And one of the reasons I do these streams is because I never really take the time to make games like this otherwise. So this is a nice change of pace. So I'm just gonna spend a bit of time trying to make this look a little, you know, a little nice by adding, oh, that's not right. Why? I set the alpha down, but for some reason it's, you know, overwriting completely. Oh, what I'll do oh no, I don't, why is it? That's really strange. See, I set the alpha to something really low, and still it makes a really strong line. Is that a bug? Yeah, it's a bug with the line tool, apparently. So I'll just have to use the pencil tool instead. So I can put the alpha back up. I should probably report that bug if it hasn't been already. So yeah, if you, I'll put the shadow on the bottom side. If you haven't seen already, I just uploaded a new video today, which is not usual for me to actually upload on Saturdays, and that's because I don't generally work on videos on Saturdays, but this video I had to finish, yeah, basically I made this afternoon. So if you've already seen it, what do you guys think? I feel like I may have glossed over a lot of the information, so yeah, I hope it was still clear what it was I was doing, especially since I've been doing some weird things with the different with the layers, etc., which is not something that I've seen many people do when using Game Maker, using the layer begin and so on. So here we have a sprite with all different bricks. It looks pretty fine. Let's add a tile set. TS bricks. I'm gonna move my microphone a bit over. It's kind of in the way of my hands. And we're just gonna get our thing, and we said it was 8 by 16 or 16 by 8. They feel very small. Also, I think I forgot a couple lines in there. Let's fix that really quickly. They feel too small though, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to make a very small view or something. Yeah, the line tool seems to be broken, so I have to use the pencil tool for this part. Okay, so let's quickly add them in a room to see what we're working with. Why am I using one sprite for all of them? I'm using a tile map, a tile set. So by using a tile set, I can use tiles. I don't know what to say. It's how you're supposed to use tiles, I guess. So see, I can just place my bricks in like this and like that and so on. But I'm gonna undo that because I want to set this room to something sensible. So I'm going to let's think about this. How many bricks wide? Like I'm gonna put as many bricks as feels like it's like, I think that's about right. Whatever that width is, 20. Here you go, 20 bricks wide. That's 0, right? Yeah, let's do that. And so if we have 20 bricks and they're each 16, let's just do this. 20 times 16 is 320, so we're going to be 320 wide. And I don't know, like 200 tall. That seems like something. Which means, and I am going to have to use a view. I don't need to clear the viewport background. And the width will be 320 by 200. And well, let's think about it. Let's make it twice as big, so 640. Actually, I could probably go 1280 and what's that? So I multiplied it by 4, so that would be 800. That should fit on my screen, I think. So let's quickly add a couple things to see how it looks. So just building a quick level to test how things, to just see how things will look before I go on making the actual object. This is actually, I suspect, going to be a very simple stream to work on, given how simple Brick Breaker can be. But okay, so I did see Mike Daly's version, and I'm not I don't really like the way that he did the collision checking, because he just checked at a single point. I'm going to do border checking, I think. I'm going to check the center point of the border instead. It doesn't really matter, but yeah. So it's a shame. Oh wait, can I can select tiles. Oh, that is cool. That is a very cool thing. So I can select my tiles and move them. Can't I move them? Rectangle, line, fill, erase. Can't I just move them? I can select them. Oh, maybe I can cut and paste it? Yeah, I can do that. Let's move it down a bit, like this. See that? Run it to see if it's if the view is the right size and everything. I think it looks pretty good. Now, we do want to, just in case, disable blending and everything. So, graphics. Okay, so it's already off. I think everything's fine. So let's create a quick bad object at first. So let's create a sprite. sbat. I'm not too sure what size it's supposed to be, but I'm gonna make it about twice the size of a like the same height, so 8, but like 32 width, or maybe 48. I'll do 32 for now. Make it twice as wide. Again, I'm not looking for a super accurate clone. I'm mostly yeah, I'm just making a Brick Breaker game. So I mean, I could spend time making this look fancy, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna erase the corners a bit. I am gonna be using tiles to do collision checking as well. It's just that, okay, well, they are like literally tiles, they're bricks. I don't see why you would use any other means. Like, specific objects for this seems a bit overkill. Unless we need to store information. But if we do, there is a way to do it with tiles. And if I may go ahead and actually use it. Like, you can, if you can use the extra information bits, like, so like there's only so many different tiles you use, and you have more bits. Most of the time you have more bits at your disposal, so you can kind of use them to have more information, if that makes any sense, to like store extra information. Okay, I said I wasn't going to spend too much time making this look fancy, and here I am doing my best at making something that kind of looks like a hot dog. Oh well, it's a hot dog. It doesn't, the origin doesn't really matter. Go ahead and place it in our room. Oh, I didn't create an object. Let's create an object for it. Oh, bat. Whoops, my caps lock was on. Oh, tiles are great. If you're using GameMaker Studio 2 but not using tiles, you're probably doing something wrong. I mean, tiles can work your way into almost any game. Almost any game. Anyhow, most of the games I work on now have tiles in some way. I really do like them. So I'm gonna move my bat and put it like. Okay, I'm gonna center the origin just so I can actually have it in, make it start in the middle. The origin really won't matter for the actual code, I don't think. Alright, so let's make our bat move left and right. That's pretty simple. And I feel like this project is gonna be way too fast to do, because I don't see the difficulty in this project. I should have chosen something else. Maybe I'll just add advanced features or something, I don't know. So, I'm going to do something here, which, I mean, it's pretty standard among GameMaker projects. But it is noteworthy that this isn't very correct. So I'm doing VK right, and then subtracting VK left. Now this isn't the most correct thing to do. I do it all the time, but it's not very correct, because these are Boolean values, and subtracting Boolean values doesn't really mean much. But it just so turns out that Boolean values in GameMaker are represented by 0 or 1, which means you can do this trick here, subtracting two values like this. And then I can just do x plus equals dx, and then I do want to snap it so that it never goes outside the room. So I can say if bbox left is smaller than 0, then we want to set bbox left to be 0, and so I'm going to write y plus equals, what would it be? Bbox left, is minus bbox left? I think that works. And then if bbox right is greater than room width, then what we're doing is saying y plus equals to, no, yes, hang on. This should just be, you know, that's right, because this will be a negative value, so yeah. Then he would do plus equals room width minus bbox right. So let me think if that's correct. If my room width is, say, 320 and I'm at 321, so 320 minus 321 is -1, so I'm adding y plus that works. Cool. So Amber is asking, are you going to auto-tile the bricks within a defined area to generate random pattern at each level? Random level generation could be cool. good random level generation may be complicated because you want it to be geometrics and everything. Something to think about. So since bouncing a ball around isn't too difficult, maybe at the same time I could give a thought to how I could do random generation. Something to consider. So let's see if I can move my bat left and right. I suspect I can. Alright, so I can move it left and right, and ooh, I'm an idiot. I've been using Y, I should be using X. I don't know why I wrote Y. Yep. And here we have it. It doesn't go any further, and if I go to the right, it won't go any further. I don't know if it's moving too fast or too slow. We'll find out as we get our ball bouncing. Let's go back here. I do want to change something. I want to move my bat down a bit. Oh, that's a bit too far down. Let's change it to 16 by 16 and move it down a bit like so. So Janko's saying I could make an alphabet level set. That could be a fun idea. Yeah. Could be fun. For now though, let's just add a simple bull sprite. I think I'll make it 8 by 8. That seems about right. Also, I'm wearing this again, but I'm not actually listening to anything, so this is actually much better on my ears after wearing headphones all day. So let's go ahead and edit that. We just want like a blue circle or something, and again let's make this look a bit pretty. Here we go, and let's add a little shiny thing. S bull, and we're gonna keep it, whoops, middle center, sure, doesn't really matter. And we can create an object for it, create resource object. Oh, ball. Alright. So, I could use the default V speeds and H speeds, and there wouldn't be anything wrong with that. I don't think. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna just simply say V speed equals 1 and H speed. Actually, let's set it to 3 or 4. Oh no, 4. Yeah, sure. And H speed equals -4. That should give us a nice 45-degree angle thing. Let's go inside the step event, and this is where we'll handle all the bouncing. So let's think about how we can do bouncing. First of all, bouncing off the bat shouldn't be too difficult. We first will do vertical bouncing. I'm not typing anywhere. Bounce vertically. So here we'll say if V speed is greater than 0, this way means we're moving down. Then we want to first of all check if there is a bat beneath us. So we can say if. Now here's the thing, should I do good collision or just quick collision? Okay, so I'm gonna sample multiple collision points because it'll be better that way, I think. So var t equals, so first of all check against an object, check against bat, and I can say var b1 equals collision point at position. Okay, before I write this, let's go back inside my room, and I'm going to first of all select a tile so this doesn't appear every time, and I'm going to rename my instance here. I'm going to rename it iBat. This way I have an actual instance I can reference, rather than having to rely on referencing objects, which is not a super nice thing. I think it was Janko who was asking about that in the comments of my latest. I think it. Well, I don't remember if it was Janko or not, but you were asking about that. The basic idea is that right here, for instance, I could write. Here I could write I bat instead of O bat. And this right here is the actual instance I placed in the room. It's not the object. And that's because objects don't really have variables, only instances do. So saying obat.x is asking for the x position of the object, but the object doesn't have any, it doesn't have a position, only the instance does. And so this is more correct. So the positions we're going to check here is bbox bottom, bbox left. So this is going to be very reminiscent of the collision system I used. Oh, hang on. Okay, yes, Janko is asking, could I have two instances of bat with different names? Yes, I could. And here I'm just realizing I don't need an instance here. I need an actual object. And I can use bat. This way I could use multiple instances. So I actually don't need to rename instances in this case because I'm not referencing a variable. I'm just looking for the actual object, and collision point actually asks for an object or an instance. But in this case, we really want an object. This way, if I have multiple bats, it'll still work and everything. Yeah, I actually can use the object in this case. Collision point, bbox right, bottom still. No, it's okay. I got this the wrong way around. This should be bbox left and then bbox bottom. Alright, and this should be bbox right, bbox bottom, again with obat and 0, 0. Then I can check against bricks, and before I can actually write that code, I need to go back inside the create event and say brick layer equals layer get ID. I don't remember the name of my layer, but I think okay, it's bricks. Cool. And then I can write a brick map equals layer layer tile map. Get ID brick layer. So back in the step event, I can fix my spelling mistake in the comment and write something like var t1 equals collision point bbox left bbox not collision point, sorry, tile map get at pixel. Tile map element ID will be brick map was it? Brick map at bbox left bbox bottom. We should probably end it with tile map. You know what? Full screen. Tile index mask var t2 equals tile map get at pixel brick map bbox right bbox bottom. Once again, we want to end it with tile index mask. That's again to remove all the other data that may be left on our tile map. It shouldn't really be necessary because we're not going to use the other data, but let's be correct, do things correctly. Then we can say if B1 or B2 or T1 or T2. I'm actually realizing that we're doing these collision checks even though we could be short-circuiting. We could say if we already have B1, there's no need calculating B2 and so on. But I'm not gonna worry too much. Mainly because It's pretty cheap to do those checks. And I don't want a huge mess of if-else statements. It'll be nice if, I don't know any languages that do that, but it'll be really cool to have a language which could basically like link those up together and, I don't know, kind of use those as kind of macros instead of, actually I could write those as macros, but it's not a good idea. But yeah. Here I'll say simply vSpeed minus equals times equals -1, so I'm bouncing off. And actually, if I wanted to do this for HSpeed, the only thing we'll change here is the bbox bottom. So what I'll do is move this outside. Why is the alt minus thing not working? Okay, GameMaker is slightly broken, but that's okay. So here we can say up here var v side for vertical side, and we can set it to nothing for now. Ooh, we can use, okay, so something I learned last week on this stream is that we can use ternary operators. So which means I can write vSpeed greater than 0, and if it's true, we want to say we want to make it equal to bbox bottom, otherwise bbox top. Beautiful. So now I can replace these with vside. Yeah. Ternary operators being a thing is just amazing. So now we have vertical collision. Let's run it to check it works. Oh, I didn't add it to the room. So let's stop this compilation. Go inside the room. Resources. Bring this in. And I'm also going to make the instance be on top of the bricks layer, just so that I can be straight into the thing every time. And it bounced. I don't know if you noticed, but it did bounce. It's going a bit fast though. Let's make it go slowly. 2 and 2, something like that. Much better. There is something though. This is happening after the vSpeed change, and so you're seeing a bit of weirdness. For that reason, I'm going to actually use my own dx and dy variables, and that's just because GameMaker is not flexible enough, so I'm gonna have to. I mean, I could change this to like the begin step or something like that, but I don't feel like doing that. And so let's close the room, and I can, after doing this, oh, should it be before, after? I don't know anymore. It doesn't actually matter. I'm not gonna, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll do dy, I'll do y plus equals dy, and what I'll do is snap my object against whatever object I have. So here I'll write if b1 or b2 I'll say that my y minus equals, no, plus equals, No, it's getting too complicated. Let's not do the snapping thing. It doesn't need to be there. Here I'll do x plus equals dx, and I'll do exactly the same code, but horizontally. So this will be, I'll say var h side equals dx being greater than 0 gives us bbox right, otherwise we get bbox left. And here we go. So now I can use h side, h side, h side, h side, bbox top, bbox bottom, and can I just, sure, I'll copy this here, paste it there and just remove this small bit. And here the x minus equals whatever. However, we also want to check against sides. And here we'll say var s1 equals bbox left being smaller than 0, var s2 equals bbox right being greater than room height. Just as a note, this collision system and response, especially like collision response, just setting the bounce thing, would only really work if the speed of your object never changes. The problem could happen on, if you're making like a platformer game, you may want to go further than the room, for instance, and then reduce the speed, at which point you'll get stuck inside the room, kind of like, it's just outside the room, kind of like bouncing back and forth. So yeah, this only really works because I don't change my speed. If I do change the speed later, I'll have to change the system to snap the object back to the side. Gets a bit complicated though, but it's gonna be alright. It'll be alright. So for some reason my object is bouncing when it shouldn't be. Ooh, I wrote something wrong, didn't I? Here I changed my dy, here I changed my dx. I do recalculate b1 and so on every time. Did I write something wrong? Can you guys see something I did which is dumb? Because it wouldn't surprise me if I wrote something dumb. Room height. Why is this room height? I think that was a dumb bit. Let's go. Okay, so for some reason bouncing vertically is being weird. Yeah, I know what's going on. Because I'm not snapping it back outside the object, the horizontal collision is still triggering, which isn't right, so you have to remedy that by actually snapping the object outside. And that's going to be a pain because we'll have to do it differently based on objects and the rest. So here we'll say if b1 or b2 var instance. Okay, so collision point returns -1, is that right? Oh, it returns no one. Perfect. So what I can do here is say var bat. So the bat we collided with is going to be the maximum between b1 and b2. So because no one is actually -4, again, this isn't the correct way to do it, but it'll work because any instance will be, we'll have a positive index, and no one is -4. We'll get, you know, some instance. So then we can say var what we can write is y plus equals bat.bbox top. Ooh, it's gonna depend. It's going to depend on whether or not we're moving up or down, because do we want to collide with the bottom of a bat? Probably not, but maybe. So just in case, we'll do some interesting things. We'll do dy. You know what? We can cheat some more. We can remove this greater than check. Okay, bad ideas everywhere. But check it out. We can check if something is positive or negative just by doing if, right? Which means I can just here do dy question mark bat bbox top bat.bbox bottom. Again, these streams are never supposed to be tutorials. I do lots of things that should not be done, including that here. You should recheck if it's greater than 0 or not, because it doesn't make sense to do that if it's not a Boolean value. But I didn't want to make this line too long. Yes, I know I could make it on a separate line, but whatever. Minus bbox minus v side. I believe that would work. Yeah. And then I can say otherwise we can check with the tile. And let's just boop that outwards. I could make a script and have some nice returns and everything, but Tell you what, once this works, I'll make it into seem. I was afraid this stream would be too slow. I think I could finish it in an hour instead of like 2 hours. So I'll make nice scripts and everything. So if T1 or T2, what we want to do is say okay. So here we should also say dy times equals -1 as usual, and here we want to say that thing, but we also want to snap our y value, so we can say y plus equals, so let me think about this, it will be something minus v side, and we want, oh, it will depend on our dy once again, so we need to use dy question mark something, and it will be, let me think about this, I don't need this outer bracket, I don't know why I have it. So if we're going downwards, we want to collide with the top of a something, so we can simply grab bbox bottom, and we can we need to get the size of the tile map. We're going to the create event. I'm going to say var, no var, just tile width equals tile map get tile width brick map and tile height, whoops, equals tile map get tile height brick map. Go back into a step event, and now we can say that if we're going downwards, we want to check against bbox bottom, and we want to, now I could and it, but I'm not going to, I'm going to snap it, so I can div, ooh, I could just remove the remainder, but that's not going to be easy for the other way around. I know what I can do. I can do y plus equals, hang on, no, that won't work because I cannot set it directly, so bbox bottom minus mod minus bbox bottom Yeah, no, that's not going to be good. Yeah, no, wait, bbox bottom div. No, how do I remove the fraction? How do I not know this? Is there no quick thing to do that? Okay, I'm going to create a quick script, a quick helper script. Create script, snap. Description, it will snap a value to the next lowest, next lowest multiple. And we'll take a value and a mod. I'm going to call it a mod even though it's not the right thing. And I'm just going to return argument 0 div argument 1 times argument 1. Maybe not the fastest way of doing it, but it'll work fine. So then I want to snap my bbox bottom to tile height, and if not, I want to I could just do v-side over here. V-side. I could move this away and say snap my v-side and add to it in parentheses dy question mark. Hey, hello, concept boy, also known as Miles Thatch. Is that how it's pronounced? I think that's how it's written, at least. Miles Thatch. How you doing? I've actually been looking at a lot of the streams from Miles. It's really quite interesting. Mainly for me because I never managed to make games, so it's interesting to see someone who's actually making a game. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's actually a really good looking game. Lots of nice shadow effects and everything. Very atmospheric. It looked quite good. It's kind of reminiscent of and I hope you don't mind me saying that, concept boy. It's kind of reminiscent of Super Meat Boy, but more, I guess, more atmospheric and everything. So dy question mark, I forgot what. Oh yeah, I want to add. Either if we're going downwards, we want to add 0, and if we're going upwards, we want to add tile height. Or do we want to subtract tile height? We want to add tile height, and then we want minus v side. So again, I don't know if I should explain that. It's a bit of a convoluted thing. So ignore the why I'm doing plus equals here, but this part here essentially checks where I want my next bbox to be, which is written with this v-side thing. So I first nap it, and if we're going upwards, we want to add tile height. And the reason we want to add tile height if we're going upwards is because you want to collide on the bottom part of a tile, not the top part of a tile. And then in order to actually move our bbox, we can't actually set the value. So instead I do y plus equals and then minus our bbox, and that is the same as moving the bbox. It's not super nice, but it's the best, easiest way I've found to do that part. Okay, so that should snap us vertically. Let's essentially write the same code to snap ourselves horizontally. So, and if it works, I'll move it all into some nice scripts so I don't have too many nested ifs. I can say if Jenko's in limbo, is he neither on our on my stream or your stream, or is he in both our streams at the moment? Oh, yeah, okay. So if B1 or B2, the bat we actually have is equal to maximum of B1 or B2. Again, not super correct, but it works just fine. I mean, it's correct once you realize that instant IDs are integers, but not if you actually look at things. Okay. So, and then I can do the snapping part, which I'm just going to copy this here. Oops. And rewrite it in terms of x. So x bat.bbox, what would it be? If I'm moving rightwards, I want left, and if I'm moving leftwards, I want right. Minus h side. And of course, I want to do dx times equals -1. I feel like I'm overly complicating this, but on the other hand, I could change that to any object or anything and it will work just fine. And right again over here, I can write, I'll need to use an else statement. Move it inside. And I can write, let's see, let me think. Marco's asking if I like GMS2 more than 1.4, and yes, I do. GMS2 is a huge upgrade, mainly because of tile maps. And lots of different quality of life improvements. Actually, something I really like is array literals. I use them all the time. Array literals are great, especially when you deal with really complicated data structures. Is it worth it if you already have GameMaker 1.4? I don't know. It is if you're working on a big project. It's not if you're just working around. I mean, there are still issues, especially now that the discounts don't exist anymore. I would say wait a bit until we see some more features. It really depends what you're working on. If you're already working on an existing project, it may not be worth it. I don't know. You should. I don't really work on big projects, so it's not worth asking me. You should ask Concept Boy. He did the transition between the two in the middle of a project, so he's probably the best person to ask. He's also working on a project which is a very, I don't want to say typical project, but kind of like the kind of things that happen in the project. You don't have super complicated AI or something. It's I think he's probably the best person to ask about. Yeah, Concept Boy is asking what's going on. I was saying that you're probably the best person to ask about transitioning from GameCube 1.4 to 2 if you're working on a project, if it's worth it, etc. Mainly because, like, unlike me, you're actually working on a project. I'm not really working on a Game Maker project, nor have I made a project as big as yours. And you have kind of like the sort of project which, which is actually suited to Game Maker. When I work on bigger projects in Game Maker, I often take the piss out of Game Maker, trying to make something which isn't really suited to Game Maker, like a ray trace renderer, for example. That doesn't really make sense to write in Game Maker. Why would you? And then I work on these projects which are just too small to really judge. So yeah. Okay, here, once again, if T1 or T2, I want to essentially copy the same monstrosity of a piece of code. I'm not proud of this code. I'm kind of proud of this code. It's a cool piece of code, but it's not a neat piece of code. It's the kind of code I would really only use in a project I do really 100% for fun, because it's fun to come up with these really short one-liners, but they're not good practice. So again, don't use this as a tutorial. And finally, we need to snap with the size. Snapping with the size isn't going to be too hard. I can remove that. I'm again going to use else. The reason I use else is I don't want to double bounce if I collide against multiple things at the same time. I should probably... Why is it giving me an error? Oh, I can't else and else, can I? I should put the else inside. Okay, this is why I'm going to have to script it up. I really hate nested ifs. I mean, 2 nested is fine. With 3 nested ifs, I really want to change that. So if S1 or S2... Why am I getting an error? Okay, wait, I missed something. Else, okay, yeah. No, that shouldn't be tabbed. I'm missing a tab somewhere. Oh, okay, I found my missing tabs. Cool. So if this, then yeah, no, I 3 nested diffs is just it's okay, but I really want to move it to have some other way. Not having, you know, I prefer to have scripts that return out. I think that's a bit nicer. What would be even better is being able to generalize the... It's not elitism. It's personal preference. I don't like seeing too many... because it moves everything to the right, and, you know... Like, I don't like... Again... Yeah. So I need to think, now I need to know which side I'm colliding on, and for that reason I'm actually going to do this part differently. Could I... Ooh, you know what I could do? Is use my H side again. So I can say S equals, just S, equals H side being, oh, but I need to check whether it's greater or smaller than. Well, I'll do it that way. I'll do dx question mark H side being greater than room width, or H side being smaller than 0. And once again, actually I could probably change that just to B box left, no, right, B box left. Again, this is not supposed to be neat or anything. I'm just finding ways to do things differently. Yes, every line of code I write has a semi... well, not every line. Every statement, would it be? No, it's not yeah, I think they're called statements. Every statement has a semicolon, as it should have. You know, if you're missing a semicolon, I don't... Yeah. GameMaker shouldn't allow it. Or it should either allow it or not require them at all. Kotlin. I like Kotlin, and I also dislike Kotlin. I don't agree with 100% of their decisions. Some of it is just weird. So I want to say x plus equals, and here I'll do dx question mark. How did I do it here? I want to find out, so I want to eventually subtract h side. And so I want to find out what h side should be. So if I'm going to the right, h side is supposed to be room width. And if I'm going to the left, it's supposed to be 0. Okay. Again, really strange, weird code. What I think I'll do is I'll generalize everything into returning an array with, or just returning, yeah, no, returning an array with whether there was a collision or not, and if there was a collision, where the collision happened. And then I'll pass in a side, just any side, and no, I'll pass in, I'll figure it out what I'll pass in, but for now let's check if this works or not. And it's bouncing, but as you can oh, am I dumb? No, I'm not dumb. Okay, it bounced upwards for some reason as it reached the end of the room, and I think I know why. It's because Tomac get a pixel will return, what is it, -1? If there's an error. Yeah, but -1 should count as 0. Well, it should count as false. Why is it bouncing upwards as it reaches the side? See, it's bouncing upwards when it reaches the side. That's not normal. Ooh, and the collision on the left side is very strange. Ooh, my collision code is very strange. Oh, I don't like that. And I of course wrote incredibly convoluted code, which is going to be super hard to debug. Why am I using DX? But I'm pretty sure it's very close to being correct. I think it's probably correct. Again, I don't know why I wrote dumb code like I just did. Okay, see, it's colliding the wrong way. What is, okay, I'm really regretting my convoluted code. What did I do? What did I do? Okay, so vertical collision seems fine. Horizontal collision with the bat seems broken. Okay, but it... hang on, no, vertical collision... I shouldn't be getting a horizontal, because this should be snapping it back outside of my object. Oh, it's snapping it right onto my object. But I want to snap it right outside of my object. So here I need to do -1, and here I need to get +1. And because I don't trust order of operation, and same here, I want to be, if I snap it to 16, they'll be right onto whatever. So here I want to add -1, and then if I add tall height, I'll be on 32, which is no longer the right thing. That should be fine. Is there a script relating to sprite width in any way, width or length? It looks like some bells off by a sprite size. No, I'm using B boxes everywhere. I'm also trying to use as many ternary operators as I can, which is dumb. This code is bad, but it's fun. But I know what the problem is. I didn't think about the fact that you really should be colliding outside, or you should be snapping outside of an object, not right onto an object. And also right above a tile, or right outside the tile. Room width should be fine, probably. Hello, I don't know how to pronounce Cyrillic at all. All right, so this collision seems to work. See again, but now I think my left side collision isn't working when I collide with the side of the world. See, yeah, there's something definitely wrong here. Room width 0. So if an H side. So if I'm moving to the left, we know the H side is B box left. And so here I do x plus equals to 0 minus B box left. That should be fine. But for some reason, it's moving it way too far to the right. Yeah. Kuro's saying that if I can help it, I'll make everything polymorphic and everything instead of to avoid if statements. And that's true. I don't like if statements. They're like it's something that needs more, like, to me there are extra layers of logic, and I want to remove logic and abstract everything as much as I can. But here, as you can see, I'm doing a very different, I'm kind of abstracting things away in a very weird way. I'm doing mathematical abstractions, I guess. The code becomes hard to follow, so I don't recommend doing it in this case. But trust me, I wrote some similar code once, but without all the weird mathematical abstractions of, keeping sides and only doing one check and everything. It's like 3 times as long, maybe 4 times as long. Not that it matters too much. Alright, so it's been 1 hour, and then we have bounce issues. For some reason, okay, I don't know why, I'm regretting a little having done it that way. Let's see. If we're going to the right, If you're going to the right, then you want to make sure b box right is greater than b box left. If you're going to the left, you want to make sure b box left is more than 0. Sorry, that's room width. So if we collided with something, we get, if we move to the right, we want to use room width, and then we remove each side. That should work. Why is it not working? Why is it bouncing weirdly? It's bouncing like too far. Why is it bouncing too far? See, it's like, I don't know what it's doing, but it's, whoa, it's bouncing vertically against. It shouldn't be bouncing vertically. I didn't add any vertical out of bounds bouncing. Okay, that is very strange. It's not just me, right? It's colliding in a way it shouldn't be on the left. I don't know what's causing it. I really don't. It's bouncing too far. Why is it bouncing too far? Okay, if I have 0 minus b box left, which it would be, right? B box left. And b box left is more than 0 because, you know, because that should be telling us b box left is more than 0. Then we're adding a value, but we're adding too much. Could it be that dx is that x is being manipulated somewhere else? Huh. I have my else statements everywhere I need them. Why is this? It's really weird. And my right collision is fine. My rightwards collision is just fine. Why is my leftwards collision so messed up? I'll do something. I'll do if dx x plus equals to room width. Tell you what, if x is greater than 0, let's be correct about this. Room width minus b box right. If h side by chance is going to be negative 16 or something, is the event of left side bounce? Yeah, it should do. See, if it's moving towards the left, then this number will be negative, and so it will test as false. So the ternary operator will then evaluate this section and not this section. So this section is saying b box is more than 0, right? And so if it is negative 16, it's going to trigger. And then inside here, we say we're still moving towards the left, right? And so the ternary operator evaluates to 0. We do minus 16, which becomes 16. So we add 16 to x. So now the b box left should be exactly at 0. Oh, and then it triggers again, maybe. Okay, I think. Okay. Let's. Let's do that. No, that's not it. Okay. You were thinking about line 44. 44. Yeah, but that shouldn't be triggering because I'm not colliding with the tile, or am I triggering with the tile map? Oh my god. Could I be triggering with the tile map? Oh, and my snap, right? My snap. It's snapping to the, if it's smaller than 0, it's going to actually round upwards, and then I'm adding, okay, so for, okay, thank you, Nujuju, I think you found the bug. So, because what's happening is, I think my tile map get at pixel is triggering, even though it shouldn't. And so what I'm gonna do is do show message B. Right, and we can find out if it's triggering at the wrong moment. Yes, so for some reason it's triggering. It shouldn't be triggering, right? Because these should return -1. Unless unless tile index mask is masking out the negative value, which is very much possible. So if I remove these, so my computer's getting really, really hot. Will it fix it? I think that's the problem. I think I was masking out the negative value, and so it was triggering when it shouldn't. That's it. Yeah. It was triggering when it shouldn't be triggering because I was masking out the negative value. And that's annoying. Because it shouldn't mask out the negative value. I mean, it should. I mean, that's what it does. The trouble is now that if I have any residual rotation or flipping or anything, it's going to detect the tile. But theoretically, we're not going to be flipping or rotating any tiles, so we should be fine. Maybe? Okay, yeah, so now it works just fine. Let's delete tiles now, and that's actually really quite simple. When we check against the brick, we want to delete it. And so we will simply do if t1 tile map set at pixel brick map bbox left v side, and we will set it to 0. Oh, I need to give it the tile data first. 0. I should make an explode sprite asset to play an animation over the bricks that die. Maybe at the end. If t2 tile map set at pixel brick map 0 bbox right v side, and I need the very same code over here. If t1, I really don't like if statements. Tile map set at pixel h side bbox top. Now what this means here is that you will be able to delete multiple bricks at a time if you collide against both of them. And I guess that's fine. And now we'll be able to delete tiles. And we're essentially done making the game in 1 hour, 17 minutes, including debugging. I mean, I'm pretty sure that works. I mean, there's nothing that could go wrong. I mean, right now we're deleting 2 tiles at a time because we're bouncing exactly between 2. Like if we touch 2 tiles, then that's what's going to happen. I guess what we can do is make it so that it bounces like at a greater angle as it reaches the end of the bat. You know, like if we hit it against the edge of the bat, it will bounce further, right? I just want to test that collision against tiles works in the other way around. So I guess this section of the stream is me playing badly at this game. So yeah. I mean, Brick Breaker is a pretty simple game to make if you have tile maps available. I say that I did have some really strange bugs to deal with, but that's mostly my fault for trying to write trying to write strange shortcode. And I think okay, so here it's no longer bouncing because I fixed the tile map masking error. That's actually something that's really interesting. Bit masking and where the negative bit is. I don't know what model GameMaker uses, though I think that's actually hardware dependent. So I'll be interested to see if it behaves differently on like mobile and everything, because different computers use different ways of storing like negative values. Though probably every computer, like all like the common computers you can find, will probably use the same system. Okay, what I'll do is, should I move this into, should I try to organize this a bit better? Let's see, how could I organize that better? Here I'm checking, I don't think I can. I think this is pretty good. The state of this code is pretty good. Now what I want to do is have it as basically respawnable. And I'll basically say if y is greater than room height plus some number, let's say 128, then I can do x equals x start, y equals y start, and I can set dx to be equal to -4 and dy to be equal to 4. And I'll add, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll set those to 0. I'll go in the create event, set those to 0, and add a new event keyboard space, where's space? Space. And here I'll do start moving, and I'll say that if dx is equal to 0 and dy is equal to 0, then dx equals -2, dy equals 2. And now when I start the game, my ball isn't moving, but as soon as I press space, it starts moving. And if I fail at catching the ball, it should respawn at the top here. And if I press space, it goes again. Of course I should add lives, but for now, this is okay. What I want to do now is make it bounce more as it reaches the end of the bat. I think my bouncing code and my snapping code is pretty robust for the given parameters, at least. I think it should work no matter how fast I go, as long as I don't go faster than 1 tile. So should be okay. It should work at any... Oh, would it work at any angle? Yes, because my bouncing code is just reflecting... We can only bounce against straight edges, right? So what I do is I simply subtract. No, I multiply it by -1 every time. That should be accurate for flat surface, for like axis aligned surfaces. I do want to see if I can get it, you know, above the line and have it bounce. Oh, you know what I didn't implement? Bouncing against the ceiling. Yeah, you're just saying I should add randomness. I think that's a pretty simple thing to add. I think I'll add the feature to bounce first of all off the ceiling, because if I do manage to demonstrate that, you'll see that you cannot bounce against the ceiling right... Oh, damn it. You cannot bounce against the ceiling right now, which is a problem because your ball will just go out into nothingness forever. And so I also want to add that the ball bounces, you know, at a higher angle as it reaches the end of the bat. I think it should also go faster as the game progresses, but I don't know if that was in the original game or not. I probably haven't played the original game. But yeah, as you can see here, the ball didn't bounce against the top of the ceiling. So that's a pretty simple step to add. I simply have to go over here and write else. And I'll use some very similar code to here. If dy is smaller than 0, so if I'm moving upwards, var s is equal to, let's think about this, bbox top being smaller than 0. If there is a collision, I'm using S for side, though I guess it's top, doesn't matter too much. If there is a collision, I want to snap my bbox top to be equal to 0. So yeah, doing some axis minus equals the desired value minus the bbox is the same as setting the bbox to that value, but GameMaker doesn't allow you to set the bbox. It's a read-only value. I have asked on the forums for them to change that, like just make it available for us to change, and they just said, yeah, you can just do that. And yeah, you can just do that, but you know, that's lots of operations. Setting the bbox is probably better, and you do it faster and turn. I don't know. It seems like a shame that we can't do that. So I should, given how weird my collisions were, I should probably check that it works. And in order to check that it does work, I'm gonna go into the room and basically remove a whole set of bricks, such that we can check that it works. Here we go. And then we can have fun with the collision angles, which I'm not 100% sure of how to do right. First of all, we'll need to find out how far along the bat we are on either side. That's not too difficult. You can use some simple maths to, you know, get it as a percentage. But then we need to change the angle, and I could do it with trigonometry, but you know, if I can, I would like to avoid using trig. Vector math is a lot nicer. Okay, so here we can see, oh, it didn't bounce against the top. Why didn't it bounce against the top? I think I know why it didn't bounce against the top. No, I don't know why it didn't bounce against the top. Okay, so we know it doesn't work, so let's delete all of these so we can have a much better idea of what's going on. I think I still have it in. No, I don't. Okay. I want to see how is the ball, the angle and speed of the ball. I'm really playing the speed and direction of the paddle. I see what you mean. So instead of changing it based on how far along it collides, you could do it based on how fast you're moving it. Yeah, Niduru is saying I should avoid that. I should use trig as many games, and I say no. I would much prefer to use vector math in as many games because it's faster, neater. You know, I don't have to convert my. You know, if I have dx and dy, I don't have to convert that to a direction, then change it and convert it back to. I can just use vector maths. I can use matrices and everything. Much nicer, in my opinion. Trig, I don't know. If I already have my dx and dy, I already have my direction encoded in those values. If I can avoid, you know, if I can avoid multiplying, if I can avoid converting to an angle and the speed, and then back to dx and dy, you know, back to a vector, I would. And there is an easy way. I can actually just add to the dx value, and then find the length of that, normalize it, and multiply it back by my the desired speed. And just like that, I don't need any trig, which is great, which is exactly what I want. You've liked my stream with all 12 of your accounts. You have 12 accounts? That's a lot of accounts. And second of all, thanks. 12 likes. Wait, so are you literally the only 12 people watching then? Okay, I don't know why my collisions didn't work. Because here I check if I'm going upwards, you know, which, oh, yes, of course. dy times equals -1. I'm supposed to go in the other direction. Let's try that. So it should bounce against the top. No, it's being dx, really? dy. I can be so dumb sometimes. And yeah, it seems like it worked. The snapping looks a bit weird. I don't know why that is. Actually, it looks fine. So let's put some bricks back in. We can actually add some more interesting designs now because, you know, we're not boring people. Sure, let my mistake be an actual design. Here we can have like a nice little thing. The colors don't change anything. I guess they're just there to be pretty. Yeah, I don't know what it is I'm drawing. Actually, I'll make this whole line purple. Here we go. This whole line can be blue. And then I can use orange for the rest. Here we go. I don't know. It's just a cool design. What would it be? Like this? Sure. And then save that. Should still work. So, the paddle bouncing thing. Let's go to my vertical collision against my paddle, my bats. And here I will do spin. So I'll do I'll do var xo, which will be x offset, I guess, will be equal to my x value minus the bat.x value. So my bat is centered, my ball isn't centered, so let me go ahead and, oh, my ball is centered. Great. So this is a very different stream to my previous one where I tried to make everything super like object oriented and everything. Here I have like everything in a single thing. I put dx and not dy. Where did I put dx and not dy? No, I don't. If you could tell me the line, that'll be great, because I don't see my mistake. So I have my x offset, and then I want to convert that to be based on the width of my other object. So I can just divide it by the object. That's pretty simple. I can do xo divided equals to bat.image width, or is it sprite width? Now does sprite width take into account image? Yeah, it is scaled. Great, which is exactly what I want. But I want to divide that by 2. So now I have my x offset from 0, so -1 to 1. You believe the old trackball version also had variable paddle speed as well? Yeah, I could. There is no reason why I couldn't change it so that I can move my mouse around. But then it will be too easy. I'll just make this the bad guy a bit faster. Yeah. Or do you mean like the spin? Like if you move fast, it gives it more spin on the ball. What I'll do here is var L equals the square root. This is assuming your ball always moves, of dx times dx plus dy times dy. Then I can do dx divided equals L, dy divided equals L. Hang on, no, I just need to calculate my new dx, so I'll do dx divided equals say dx divided by L plus, let's say, xo over 2, so you add half of how far away you went. No, the problem here is that we could end up in a situation where we end up going horizontal. Should I have a target angle? Mouse using paddle and being too easy could be offset by if you were making a more modern version of the game with power-up debufs and event features like moggles being tiny balls. Yeah. Yeah. I could also limit the speed, so I could make it go towards your mouse, but have a limit to how fast it can go. I'm trying to figure out the bounce thing. I really don't want to use directions, but let me think about this. So right now you would basically want to bounce more to the right, but I don't want it to end up being horizontal. So I could limit it. I could say clamp that to be between, let's say, so that is between 0 and 1. So I can say yeah, that's what I was thinking. I can use, 25 minus 0.75 and 0.75, and then I can dx times equals to L and dy. Wait, I've got my new, I want my length to start the same, so I have my new dx, and then I can do L equals square root of dx times dx plus 1, and then dx times equal L, dy equals L? That doesn't sound right. Because no, that's wrong. So I have my new dx, but I want to proportionately change my dy such that I have still L as a length. So dx right now is between 0 and 1. No, minus 1 and 1. From that, I can derive my new dy because I want it to be normal. So I know dx. So let's see. Let's write some maths down. I want 1 to be equal to dx times dx plus dy times dy, and I don't know dx. So I can say that this implies that dy times dy is equal to 1 minus dx times dx, which implies that dy equals to the square root of dx times of 1 minus dx times dx. That should be fine. So dy equals to the square root of 1 minus dx times dx. And then I can write dx times equals L, dy times equals L. And I think that maybe this is okay. Big maybe. I may have to change this number to something else. So, oh wow, it's going downwards now. Oh, yeah. Presumably, let's just take the shortcut and do it that way. The problem with this technique is that hang on, what did I do? I did something wrong. I don't know what I did. But here we go. It should bounce further if I bounce against the tip. Did that work? It doesn't work, does it? It's not. Oh wait, if I bounce it nice, I'm using 0.25, so that will give it, okay, I need to change these values to something a bit more extreme. Let's set them to 90, or yeah, that should do fine. I may give up and use directions, but I really don't want to. All right, here we go. So now it's, it's going nice and horizontal, and if I try to like, make it move a bit more, yes, I think it's working. I can change the angle it's going at by bouncing it on certain sides of the paddle. And can I get it to go faster and faster? Yeah, see that? Now it's not linear, I think it's gonna be based on some kind of cosine. It's not, I don't know, it doesn't make any physical sense, so there's no point me trying to make it physically accurate. If it was, it wouldn't have that behavior if it was physically accurate. Though it is very easy to control where it's gonna go. So I don't know if I'm just really good at this or if I made it a bit too sensitive. I think I made it too sensitive. To make it less sensitive, you can just change this value to something like, you know, over 4. New Juju has a few script that takes offset and size into account. You could try something like load minus something. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially similar to what I have. I I wrote it differently. I mean, mathematically, it comes down to the same thing. And proxy decoy discovers my face. Alright, so I changed it to another value. Okay, the collision here seemed a bit strange. It seems to hover above my object. I don't know what that was about. Could just be some frame skipping or something. I don't know. That shouldn't happen. I have moved in the wrong direction. Whoops. I also knocked my mic. I hope that wasn't too audible. So I don't know if it's working now that I changed it to over 4. It's less noticeable if it's working. Okay, I think that was working, right? I can change the angle at which it's bouncing. Can I make it vertical? If I can make it vertical, then okay, yeah, it's definitely working. So now you can change the angle, but less. I think that, I don't know, what can I add now? It's been 1 hour, 41 minutes. I'm sort of happy with the code. If you ignore the fact I, you know, did my best to write the weirdest code possible, I'm pretty happy with the code. What else can I add? Do you have any sensible suggestions in the chat? I mean, buffs and debuffs are definitely a cool idea. Something like make the bat longer, or the, you know, spawn a second ball, stuff like that. I really want to see it going on top and like bouncing lots of times. This is something I really want to see. So can I get it up there? I think I'm gonna need to give it some more sideways momentum. Damn, all these classic games are just like underrated. It's like Tetris. I can never stop playing Tetris. It's so good. And theoretically, I should be able to get it very sharp angles if I do this right. So let's try to get really sharp angles by always bouncing it against the right edge, or like the same edge as it's going on in. Yeah. So as you can see, I can get sharper and sharper angles going. What's my day job? I'm a student. I don't actually have a job. Yeah, I study computer science. This year I should be starting game engineering, I guess they called it, which is going to be interesting. And here we have it bouncing on top, which is the best moment possible in an Arkanoid game. Najuju is saying, I mostly think about one game that I played back in 200, I think I mean 2000 or so, on a 98 computer. But if you want ideas on the brick drops, extra lives, easier bounce on paddle, small balls, multi-balls, proxy decoy, I don't see why you should. Yeah, I'm going to add lives. That's probably a good idea. I normally wouldn't do that, but okay. Yeah, so let's go inside the yeah, let's do it that way. Creation code lives equals 3, and then inside the ball bounce, what was the check depth thing? I have it open over here, don't I? I'll do lives minus minus. If lives equals 0, game restart, and I'll add a new object. I'll call it O lives render. I'll add a GUI event. And does draw live still exist? Oh, the nice functions I would never use anymore. No, it doesn't exist anymore. But I can just do something like for var I equals 0, I is smaller than lives. I wouldn't also use lives anymore, but for a small project like this, it's perfectly fine. Plus plus draw sprite sball subimage 0 at, I'll do I times sprite get width. Oh, I'll just use that. I'll just do that actually. Sprite width. I'll give this object the ball sprite, and I will go inside the draw event and basically say no draw. So in here I can do I times sprite width 0. Oh, but it's it's a sprite x offset. Can I do? Yeah, and here I'll do y offset. And I'll do sprite x offset plus that, which means that if I place it inside my room, I can do something really cool. I can place my lives render, say, anywhere I want, and if I run it, you'll be able to see 3 little balls up here, but it's too small, right? They're too small because our GUI layer is the size of our thing. So what I can do is drag it out and scale it up, theoretically, to something nice and big. Now it's a shame that my GUI layer is not the same size as like my view layer. I could fix that, but I may fix that. And now it's not, oh yeah, right, yeah, that's me not thinking. I should do draw sprite x. Let's move this over here. Let's close my room. X scale, image X scale, image Y scale, rotation is 0, color will be a check into image angle, image blend, and image alpha. And this gives me tons of control because inside the room now I can do some pretty cool things. I can, for example, rotate my ball, and if I run it, I have now 3 rotated balls. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I should probably scale it down a little. It's a bit long. It's a bit big, I mean. Well, I can, oh yeah, I can also do this. See, I can also, you know, make it nice and long on one end and not on the other. And if I run it now, you get 3 slanted balls. I don't see why you would want 3 slanted balls like that, but you know. Okay, so let's set the scale to like 7. I think 7 will be fine. Something like that. And let's reset our... Actually, let's keep the rotation. It's cool. And here we have it. 3 lives. With a rotatable ball because it looks cool. And yeah, so if I actually let the ball go out of bounds, it should reduce the number of lives we have and reset the game. Well, not reset, we still have the bricks we broke. And if I lose another life, we lose another life, yeah. And we can break some more bricks, as the name of the game goes. And then if I miss it once more, the game starts over. So let's add things like extra lives and everything. So, to create power-ups, we first need to create some, let's create a new workspace. New sprite. We'll call it sball plus. I'm not allowed to use plus. Sball, S extra ball. Edit the image. I want to make it, say, 16 by 16. Because we'll have this here, make it 8 by 8. We'll recreate, I mean, we could just copy it, paste it over here, and then we can add a nice shiny white plus sign bit too big, but what I'll do is I'll grab a darker gray color and kind of outline. I could probably go with an even darker gray color. It's not straight. Okay. There we go. That's an extra ball. And I can image. Is that trim? All trim. There we go. And then it takes a long time for the ball's life is decreased. Yeah, I can change that. Let's go back to my ball. Step event. Let's go all the way down. I'll change that to like 64. I use 128 because I'm not used to using such. Just set it to 32. I'm not used to using such small rooms. Now I can create a new object. Call it O extra ball. Grab my extra ball. Sprite. Create event. Let's just make this easy on ourselves. We'll just do v speed equals, let's say 2. And as we collide with our bat, we can say instance destroy and lives plus plus. Let's create a new script. Call it spawn. What is it? A bonus? A power buff? A buff? Spawn buff? Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's make it full screen. And we'll say, how can we do this nicely? Hey, you're welcome, Proxy. I'll do. What's the best way of doing random chances with lots of different objects? I never know. I know what I'll do. I'll say if irandom 10 is greater than, say, 9, then var o equals choose between o extra ball and something else that will come later, maybe. Then I can do var I, actually I can just do instance create. Okay, here I should probably say so here I can do instance create layer at position xy layer, and the object is just O. I'll probably return this and then return no one. I don't know if I'll use the return value, but maybe. So right, so when our ball collides with a tile, and when it deletes it, I want to say spawn buff at position B box left, V side. I'll just copy this down here, B box right. Yeah, sure. And down here, H side, B box top, H side, B box bottom. One thing I want to do is inside here, I'll snap that to tile width, sure. And snap that to tile height. No, this means that this can only be called by the ball objects, or any object that knows the tile width and height. Do you have any released games? No, I don't. As I was saying early in the stream, I can't seem to be able to make and finish a game. It's for many reasons, really. Making a game is difficult. It's not so much like the code that goes into it. It's more the perseverance you need. And I also, between my studies and this channel and everything, I don't necessarily always have the time. So let's see, in about 1 in 10 tiles, we should be able to get a extra life, which will lag our game if we don't get, so I'll make it so that it deletes itself when it leaves the room as well. How old am I? I am 20. I think, yeah, sounds about right. So far, no extra lives, which is worrying. We should be seeing them soon at least. Did I do something? I think I may have done something then. I don't know if I did. Then again, with all these random systems, they're always difficult to debug because, well, they're random. You never know when. Okay, cool. And if I grab it, yay, we got an extra life. Nice. So it does work. Hooray. Let's add maybe a debuff. What debuff can we add? We can make like lots and lots of, we can do a multi-ball debuff. The question is, does losing a multi-ball make you lose a life? Or do you lose a life when there are no balls left on screen? I think for multi-ball to be like really balanced and for multi-ball to be like a debuff, you should lose lives every time you lose a multi-ball. Add a buff to turn your ball into a bomb for 1 turn. Oh, so next time it hits a brick, it like makes an explosion and deletes a whole bunch of bricks? You know what would be really cool? Make it so like it deletes every single brick of the same color. So like, if your brick is, if you hit a green brick, it deletes all adjacent green bricks. That'll be a really, really powerful power-up. You lose a life per ball, but after a few seconds they would go away. Yeah. I think I'll add the multi-ball first because it's a nice debuff. And then I'll add the deletes all adjacent bricks of the same color, which is an incredibly powerful buff. So I'll add a new buff. So how can we represent the multi-ball? S multi-ball. How can we represent it? I guess I'll just do like 3 balls next to each other. So image. Actually, we'll trim it anyway. So cool, we have those available. So I'll just like, yeah, just do that. That looks like, you know, a couple balls next to each other. And then if I go here, I can copy this and kind of redo the outlines. Oops, that's wrong. That doesn't look too good. There we go. Yeah, that really doesn't look that good, but it'll be fine. This is my multi-ball buff. Can I add a small particle effect when the ball bricks hit the brick? Like a spark or something? I mean, it's getting, I don't know, particle effects are one of these things that can take a long time. I want to finish this stream soon-ish. It's been 2 hours. It's practically midnight here, so I'll add a couple buffs. Ooh, yes, I do want to add the, yes, I do want to add the several hits. And I have a cool idea as to how to do it. And so I'll do the multi-ball, then I'll do the multi-hits, and then I think I think we'll call it today. Proxy's asking how many times do I stream. When do I stream? I stream every week. Or at least I try to stream every week. Oh, I already have a Sprite. On Saturdays, same time as now, essentially. Sometimes it'll be Fridays, sometimes it'll be Saturdays. It depends on, you know, what I do with my life. So, okay, so about the multi-ball, when you lose your multi-ball, it needs to delete all the multi-balls after a certain amount of time. But what if you lose the original ball? Are you basically... Yeah, let's not worry. Yeah, what happens? We could transfer the ball originalities to... Okay, here's what we'll do. We will go inside our ball and add a alarm event. And when that alarm triggers, we're going to call instance destroy. Now, when we check for the game over thing, we will only restart the game. No, we want to restart whenever we lose it. But we do want to say that if my alarm is greater than 0, if alarm 0 is greater than 0, so if I do have a countdown, no, if it's smaller than 0, so if I don't have a countdown, so if I am not the original object, no, if I am not a multi-ball ball, then I want to transfer the non-multi-ball ball thing to another object. So I can say oh yeah, and I only want to go back to start if I don't exist. So I can say this. If that, then that. Oh wait, only if there are no other balls. Oh, this is getting complicated. Multi-ball is complicated. Tell you what, multi-ball's a bit weird, so I'm gonna have to think about it some more. Because there are problems that happen unless, if we want balls to delete themselves after a certain amount of time, then we either need we could just create like a smaller ball, which is not the main ball, and you don't have to care about them as much. No, what I'll do for now though, what I really want to work on is bricks that take multiple hits to break. And so I will create a new script and I'll call it bricks meta. I will make it full screen. First thing I'll do is GML pragma global it. Bricks meta. And here I'll do global dot bricks break 2 bricks 2, just call it bricks 2 equals new array. And what I'll do is go back inside my bricks thing and let's create some cool multi-hit bricks, which will essentially be, I'm going to take like a nice dark brownish color. And I'll make it grayer somehow. Here we go. Let's give it a cool kind of shadow thing. Oh, I still have these I can use. And where's my light one? Is that, no, I need to create a new one. My computer's suddenly heating up. Alright, so this will be our main brick thing. Now I'll copy and paste it multiple times. Yeah, Nujuju, I'll do something similar to that. I have, yeah, yeah, I'll do something similar to that. The problem is they have to be specifically multiple balls that the player has to care less about. Alright, so I'll start making like some kind of weird like breaking cracks, you know, here and there. Here we can start, and then we can start even deleting parts of it. And drawing out cracks even bigger everywhere. And then there'll be nothing. So this will be the multi-hit bricks. I could probably make this a bit more visible. No, the hits a bit more visible. Here we go. So then we go into our bricks meta. Okay, so this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11. So what I'll do here is say global.bricks2 for 1 will be 0. And we're essentially going to copy that a whole bunch of times for each of the colored bricks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, sure, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they all go to the 0, you know, dead brick. And then here's the multi-hit brick. Yeah, so this array describes what the tile should go to once it's hit. And here we'll have 4 different bricks. So we have 8 goes to 9, 9 goes to 10, 10 goes to 11, 11 goes to 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's right. So 8 goes to 9, 9 goes to 10, 10 goes to 11, and 11 goes to 0. And now inside my ball, when colliding with the objects, the tiles, this is repeating code, but at this point, meh. Here I'll say global.bricks whatever T1, and I'll basically copy this down here T2, and over here we have T1 and T2. Now if I go inside my room, I'll add, like in the middle here, I'll add a layer of multi-hit bricks, and that could be fun. You think you'll try using GameMaker's animated tile system? I have used them before. It's pretty good, but it also has quite a few limits, which are annoying. Alright, so these tiles still work as normal, but these middle tiles, see, they get, I don't know if you can see it on stream, but they get damage as you keep hitting them, and eventually they'll disappear, if I wrote, you know, my array correctly. Then get very damaged, and eventually they disappear. See that? That's pretty cool, right? Oh, but okay, so that's interesting. They can still drop buffs. Okay, so a lot of this I'm doing inside the ball object, and I should be moving everything into scripts. I'm not going to bother because the stream is getting a bit long. But okay, what I'll do is add the multi-ball and then be done with it. So yeah, so what you would do is only spawn it once you delete a tile to 0, and that's not too difficult to add. So yeah, the multi-hit thing works. It's pretty cool, I think. I like the way I implemented it. Let's go to, first of all, I kind of want this one to be on a smaller angle, just randomly. Instead of 45, let's set it to, what's half of 45? 27.5 or something? Seems about right. I don't know. I'm bad at maths. But the multi-ball, what I'll do, let's think about this. Yes, what I'll do is simply spawn smaller balls and give them an alarm. So in here, they will only spawn back if alarm 0 equals 0. Or smaller or equal to 0, I think. This may give a bug if the alarm was 0 and it should be fine. Event ordering should fix, no, event ordering will mess around with that. Here we go, this should be fine. And then, once we hit the multi-ball, so once the whole multi-ball an event create vSpeed equals 2, and an event collision with our bat, what we'll do is find the instance of our ball. Oh, but what if we had multiple multi-balls? Let's make this horrible for people. With ball instance, yeah, I'll do repeat 3 times. I don't care about my code quality anymore. Var I equals instance create layer x y layer ball. I'll do I dot alarm 0 equals, let's give them 5 seconds ish. Game get speed game speed FPS, and then 5 seconds is long, but whatever. I dot image x scale equals 0.5. I dot image y scale equals 0.5. We should probably right here have O extra ball or O multi-ball. Oh, and one more thing. He will say I dot dx equals random range -2 I dot dy equals random range -2. And for now, we're gonna not bother normalizing and giving it a proper speed. Alright, so let's hope we can get a multi-ball pretty fast. If you recall, getting the multi-ball actually takes a bit of some time before you actually get it. So, well, I mean the buff in general. But by the time we delete this multi-hit thing, we should be able to get our multi-ball. Anytime now. If we get like an extra life instead of a multi-ball, I'll be kind of annoyed. Cool, a multi-ball. So if I get it, oh wow, you know what I did? I was dumb. Instance destroy. Let's cheat. Let's give ourselves a multi-ball from the start. Alright, and now we have lots of smaller balls to take care of. And they do make us... Oh, it deleted itself before it left. Okay. Let's make our multi-balls have more speed. To be truly evil. And I couldn't get the one right. Ooh, and it caused the end of the game for some reason. A single ball causes the end of the game. I don't understand. Oh, I'm no longer... Ah, I see. I see. Let's move this up top here. Else, instance, destroy. Yeah, random tiles and tile brush would be great for many different games. Alright, and now I have to juggle between all these different multiples. Ooh, the other one deleted just before it went out of range. I think, oh no. Let's really hope I get a, well, I didn't randomize the randomizer, so I will get the same, I will get in another one of those multiples, which will be the end of me, yeah. And now I'll get one, again, a multiple from, and okay, so here, did you see that? That's me being extra evil. I made it such that when you get a multiple, each of the multiple spawn their own multiples, and that's just me being very evil. But I could change it, you know, to check whether it was the original ball or not. I could also create a new type of object, you know, for the multiples instead of reusing the same. Instead of reusing the same object and just, you know, using the alarm as a check. It's a pretty trivial thing to implement. But I think that for now, the stream has been 2 hours and 16 minutes. So it's been lots of fun. I hope you guys had fun too, watching me make this strange version of Arkanoid. I think, yeah, so it's quite difficult for me to speak and play at the same time. But essentially I'm saying I'm ending the stream here, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm sorry, Proxy, but I have to end it sometime. Thank you all for tuning in. As I said, I'll be streaming again, as I said before, every Saturday, similar time to now. Sometimes Friday, depending on what is going on. Next video tutorial, not entirely sure what it's going to be on. I think I'm going to try to write something about texture pages. I was over on the Concept Boys stream and talking a lot about texture pages, and I realized it's actually an interesting subject that, you know, is kind of complicated, so I may do that. Proxy's asking me if I'll continue this game next Saturday. No, I like to work on different things. So I don't know what I'll do next Saturday. There's a whole bunch of different games I could do. I was thinking maybe do something outside of Game Maker. Maybe not, I don't know. So yeah, I never know how to end these streams. But I guess the first step is to stop playing the game that is distracting me. And yeah, I just need to do a couple things.